talking about like the past lineups, I actually had a tweet saved of this kid. It was a January 5th tweet of this Twitter account Dobson posting the 2017 rolling out lineup, which like you mentioned that Kendrick Lamar, Future, Wayne, Rocky, Travis, Thug, Mac, rest in peace of course, Tyler the Creator, Uzi, Migos, Savage, XXX, Playboy Cardi, so on. And somebody said, Tariq, bring back the magic, bring this magic back, right? And you said impossible. These days, that lineup would cost over $30 million. And the tickets would have to cost upwards of $1,000 plus.
Yeah, I mean, 1,000, 2,000. I couldn't even tell you what that lineup would really cost. Like, I'm guesstimating, like, you know, but
it's a pretty good guesstimate at that point, honestly.
Yeah, but yeah, you just couldn't do it. And by the way, people on the internet, like some of the responses to me saying that are like, do it, I'd pay that, right? But it's like, okay, you might, but the amount of people that need to pay that would not pay that. Like, there's a thing called price elasticity. Like, the more expensive you make something, the less people are going to buy it, you know? So you and your little niche of people might be able to afford it, but not enough people can afford it.
Right, and obviously, a big thing about Rolling Loud is appealing to the youth, and the youth is definitely not going to be able to pay. Yeah. The majority of the kids coming to the festival are not going to be able to pay $1,000+ to pull up.
Right, and we're conscious of that. So our ticket used to be $400 all in for GA, and we've reduced it this year. We started at $249.
Oh wow.
And now it's $279 because we sold out of the $249. But it was important for us to make the festival more approachable to these kids, and also like, bro, in the economy, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's tough out here for a lot of people, you know? Yeah. And so we want to make it so whether you're a young kid that, just you're a kid so you don't have that much money, or you're working or hustling or whatever it is, like, we just want it to be more approachable for people. And $150 cheaper makes a big difference.
I agree. That was going to be my next question, like just on the business side of things, like, how is the business of the festival different now than it was a couple years ago, you know?
It's if we're talking about like pricing and stuff, like artists are more expensive, you know, that's what I'm getting at in that tweet. It's like, I wish Kendrick would charge me what he charged me or charged us in 2017. I'd book Kendrick every time, you know? But every time I book Kendrick is more money than the last time. Yeah. Every time I book Travis is more money than the last time. These artists just get bigger and bigger and sell out more and more stadiums. You know, like I gotta book a lineup that 60,000 people can afford to go see.
Sure.
You know, and that's the balance, right? And I know it's hard to understand if you're just at home looking at the lineup, you know, and you're just like, yo, this is what I want. I want this and I want this. Like, bro, it's not McDonald's. You know, and even the McChicken costs more than it used to. Yeah. You know.
No, I genuinely understand like I want this because it's like, I think like obviously different business, but we deal with that. You know, they're like, oh, well, why haven't you had Kendrick on the radar? Yeah, I'm like, if Kendrick wanted, you don't think I would love to?
Yeah.
You don't think I?
Yeah.
You don't think?
Yo, it's crazy. You had Drake though. I didn't have Drake, but you had Drake on the radar.
Hey man, you know.
Yo, do you say I had Drake on the radar, or do you say I had Drake on the radar?
I think I say I had Drake on the radar, right?
I said we had Drake on the radar.
Oh, you said Drake on the radar?
Shorthands.
Yeah. It was so funny. We had this kid in here last night. His name's Judah Weston. He's from out here. He's with Johnny Santana. Really, really great artist. Really cool kid. He's 17 years old, and he like walks in. I'm just sitting on the couch, like it's like 9 o'clock doing my work. And he's like, yo, you know what I like about Mr. Gabe? First of all, calling me Mr. Gabe was fucking crazy.
That's crazy.
Right? He's like, I like Mr. Gabe because I walked in here with 20 people, because he had like a whole set behind him of all these people. And he's like, and he just is on his laptop chilling. He's like, he met Drake. He don't care about what's going on in here. Yeah. And I'm like, that's not really what it is. I'm just locked in. You know when you're like your flow state just locked in. Yeah. But he mentioned that to me last night, and like, he's a kid, so when Drake came on the radar almost 3 years ago now, he was probably like 14, 15.
Yeah.
And like he's like, what was that night like for you? I'm like, I don't know. I don't really like think about it like that. I just kind of like, we just kind of did it, and then I was like, all right, cool. What do we do next? You know, it's kind of how I always looked at it.
Yo, That was fire. That was a big moment. And that was combination. That shit went dumb viral.
You know, people still walk in here and like they'll walk into the and he'll say that because Calvin's here most of the day. They'll just walk in and be like combination. I'm just like off rip, just no other words, just that. I'm like, oh my god,
that's funny.
But I was gonna also like bring up because like there was that viral video of you even talking about like wanting to get Drake.
Yeah.
To do was that like obviously now I know it's very difficult, kind of similar with the Kendrick thing. But like early on, like in the early years, was that like 2015, 16, 17? Was that ever like even a close possibility?
I mean, we've always had talks with whether the booking agent or like Future the Prince, his longtime good friend and manager, or even like Chubbs.
Yeah.
We talk to all types of people on the team, whether I'm talking to them or whether Matt's talking to them, and it's always been good vibes, but never got it done.
Never got it done.
Yeah.
Has he been to one before? Like just like came to one?
If he did, I wasn't aware. He might have snuck into one or something, but nah, he's never to my knowledge, unless he was there undercover, he's never been to one.
Seems like something you would do.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
I would if I were famous and I wanted to go to some shit and I didn't want people bothering me.
Yeah.
I'm going like ski masked up, or
right.
Like you're not gonna know I'm there.
I'm sure that at some Rolling Louds that has happened with some type of people, just not Drake.
He watches the stream though. I remember like 2017, Jaden Smith doing the moonwalk on stage, and Drake like posted like a video on his story or something like that, like of him watching it on a laptop.
Oh really?
Yeah, like on the live stream. And I remember Toronto, we passed him like a private live stream link. Like we weren't even streaming the show, but we passed him like a private link so he could watch
hard.
it. Yeah, we thought he'd come to Toronto because it was in Toronto.
Yeah.
But he didn't. But he did watch it.
That's hard.
He wanted to see Smiley.
Of course.
Yeah.
That was my next thing. I'm like, you have had like OVO artists on the lineup though.
For sure.
So yeah, but yeah, man. The one thing I always say about him is he's always watching.
Yeah.
Like
he's very in tune with the culture, from what I can tell. And I've been blessed to have the opportunity to meet him and have a brief conversation with him. And yeah, he was like very aware of Rolling Loud and gave me and Matt our flowers. Yeah, cool dude.
Yeah, I like how we always like catch him like every now and then like liking some like underground artists on OTR, and I'll be like, see, he's always watching. I'm like, even when you think he's not watching, he's always watching.
Never the ones you expect.
Never the ones you expect. Also, that's true too. But it's so funny because like as I watch Rolling Loud go more international, like since the pandemic, right? It's like whenever you announce one of these festivals, it's funny because I'm always like, Tariq knows. Like I see like the announcements of all these. I'm like, oh, he knows. Like I think obviously outside of Miami, Cali, the Bay, New York, Australia, Portugal, Toronto, Rotterdam, Germany, Thailand, Austria, and India. And every single time that you do one of these, I'm like, oh, he knows something. And
not just me, it's a team.
Well, the team, yeah, the Rolling Loud team.
My partner
knows
Matt,
something,
myself, our whole team, like we're looking around the whole world for sure. And also, the world is coming to us.
Yeah.
So we have people coming to us like, yo, bring Rolling Loud to our country, right? Or we want to work with you to bring Rolling Loud to our country. So we got more countries on the way.
I'm excited because like what I remember like when I was like in my prime Rolling Loud, like I could mosh pit and do everything. Like I remember like it was kind of like you had Miami, you had the West Coast shows like the Bay or LA, and like New York all kind of like simultaneously going. Like it was like, okay, every year we know these are the Rolling Louds we're gonna get.
Yeah.
And then after a while, obviously a lot of those stopped, and I'm definitely gonna talk about the New York stuff, but all that stopped, and then I started noticing, okay, you do like one-off show in this country, maybe come back in a couple years, maybe don't.
Yeah.
Do one-off show in this country, do one-off show in this country. What was kind of like the business move to kind of switch up from doing like, oh, hey, we're gonna do multiple shows in America every year to now like we're gonna do one, and then we're gonna do like one-off here, one-off there, one-off here. Like what was the business move behind that?
I think like when we had 4 U.S. shows, we ended up just competing against ourselves.
Yeah.
So like a lot of our ticket sales, people flying in, and then you become so regular, like that people are like, oh, I'll catch the next one, like, oh, this lineup isn't checking all the boxes I wanted to check. I'll wait for the next one. People start saying, oh, there's a Rolling Loud every week. It's like, well, no, it's like once a quarter, but. Yeah, it does feel a little too regular, because it's like you get through one, you announce the next one like immediately. You don't give people the time to miss you, which I think was very big for this upcoming show is that they had about 10 months to miss us, until we came with another announcement. So, and then as far as, we just kept reducing the amount of U.S. shows. And as far as the international expansion, it's just like, all right, it's a lot tougher for people from other countries to fly to the United States to come to Rolling Loud. Like, it's people do it. Like, I see it in the ticket sales reports that people are coming from other countries, but obviously it's a lot less than people in the United States. So we want to bring the experience to them. We want to be stewards of the culture and just bring this shit worldwide.
Yeah, I remember when you dropped the India lineup. Obviously, having like Hanuman Khan on there, and like you had a bunch of other like local artists from that country. And seeing the reception of that was so dope because like you could really, I think it's like once like it sounds weird, but like once like an American platform as big as Rolling Loud is now like going to these other countries and showing love to like the artists in those countries, it really changes like a lot of like things for them. Obviously like American audiences tap in, but now it gives them that sense of like, hey, what I'm doing is like validated.
Yeah.
Like the music I'm creating is valid. Like Rolling Loud is coming to my country and choosing me to be on the festival and show love to me. And I think that's kind of been, at least for me, watching you guys do it has been like the most beautiful part for me, because like a lot of these artists like we're tapped in with in some sense, or we know about them, and seeing them like just looking at these lineups for all these different countries and seeing, oh wow, like the Rolling Loud team put him on there.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Like that's so cool to me.
Yeah, I mean, we even in India we had a Indian headliner.
Yeah.
Which that was the first time that we had in one of the countries that we've been to a headliner from that country. Mm-hmm. So that was, his name's Karan Aujla, and it was a great set. Like that shit went crazy. But yes, I think it's just important wherever you go, whether we're in Florida and putting Florida artists on, like, or we're in New York putting New York artists on. If we're going to a country, we better be putting some artists on from that country. But we also got to bring them that, what's the United States' biggest export? Culture. So we got to bring them that hip hop culture from the U.S. That's like the biggest thing we're bringing overseas, but it's definitely important to tap in. Like you said, give them that stamp, the ones from that country. Like, yo, we see you. You're carrying the torch for hip hop out here. Like, salute.
Yeah. Do you have like a personal international one that you feel like went the craziest? Are you allowed to say that?
I really loved the Portugal show.
The Portugal one, okay.
Because it was on the beach. That was just a different vibe. Like, you see the sunset over the beach. Like, that was super dope. I really like the Thailand show. But yeah, hard to say favorites, but I like them all.
I be living through like the international shows through like Chow's story.
Yeah.
Chow and Bullet.
Yeah,
like I just be watching.
Bullet.
I just watch like Bullet stories like what's really happening.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Chow's story is like the highlights. Bullet is like the struggle. You know, like the 17-hour fights and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like I just see the pain in Bullet's face like going around with Chow.
Yeah. No, it's tough. Like you on a plane for that long. Like, bro, it takes like a whole day to get to India or Thailand. You got to take multiple planes. It's not fun.
What has been like business-wise? What has been the hardest? I don't want to say hardest, but what have you had to overcome doing these shows internationally that you feel like has been like on a business end? Because I feel like a lot of people would want to know about that. Like, what really goes into making these plays and bringing that American culture to like places like India and Thailand? And like, is it harder? Is it easier? Like, where does that kind of lie on that scale?
I think a big thing is the language barrier. Like you're out there and there's a conversation going on between you're watching like security people talk about something and you're not sure if there's a problem or if because like the voice might be a little elevated or if they're just talking to each other about something regular, but it's like it looks. Are they yelling? Like, what are they saying? Is everything okay?
Yeah.
So yeah, like just culture shock, language barrier. But honestly, they've just been for the most part really smooth. I think also just working with international partners. Our international shows tend to be like structured as license deals with a local promoter.
Okay.
Where there's like, we do participate a lot, and we still book the lineup and do all these things, but they're our business partner locally, so we gotta vet these companies, and they're not us though, right? So sometimes things go wrong, and like we are the ones that get the blame. Sure. Even though it's not us, right? So we have to be very cognizant of that.
Right. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. I want to talk about also a lot of the me being Puerto Rican, like when you guys started really putting like Latin artists on the festival. Like I thought that was a really huge moment too. You know, in LA you had Peso Pluma.
Yeah.
Headlining as the first Latin artist to headline a Rolling Loud. Yeah. Which was crazy. And then obviously in Miami you did Anuel AA and El Alfa. They performed in 2023, I believe, at that Rolling Loud. What was, that's a very big decision to make too, because I remember when the Peso Pluma news came out, everybody was kind of like, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? Like it was very jarring for a lot of people, but for you, what was that decision to like lean into that Latin crowd now too?
I think it's just hip hop culture touches outside of hip hop music. So like whether it's an artist like Eladio Carrion, who's basically like a Spanish rapper.
Of course.
Right? Yeah. Or it's a Peso Pluma who's not rapping, but he's very hip hop culture inspired. I mean, the dude will wear do-rags or like, he dresses very hip hop. His subject matter is very hip hop. So, just like touching all the places that hip hop culture reaches, Yeah. I think that's super important for us. Don't matter what the language is. And also it's undeniable the fan base,
Sure.
Peso Pluma fans in LA, like it's a lot of them. So in Florida, so many Puerto Ricans,
Of course.
And we might, we got more artists we're gonna be announcing as well. So.
Oh, for the Orlando show.
Yeah.
Okay, sick. Well, we can talk about it off camera, but like
some
Latin artists maybe.
Potentially, yeah.